How do you do, Jill? How is your morning? How do you do in general? You can unmute and speak. We shall be happy to hear you. Good morning, Jill.
Hello. Good
Hello.
morning.
How do
I'm
you
doing good. It's nice and sunny here today.
Good.
And so it's starting to cool off and the leaves are starting to turn. Fall is coming and I'm happy about that.
Great. Great. Also here there are very distinct colors because of autumn. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
season. Yes. You,
Yes, it is.
and how do you do in general? How is
I'm
everything around you and you?
um doing good, just staying busy and uh, just enjoying the seasons and enjoying my family.
Good.
But everything is going great.
Good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yesterday we were awake at night, so Andre made a dough, and this morning we baked it. So we baked bread at home because these days there's a change. You know, the war brought with it. I don't know. It just came with the war or the extensive days of war. That at the moment we are baking bread at home. So the dough has to sleep. Yes, or to be contained in warmth in this in his belly or under the blanket or under the towel for 8 hours, and then it's ready. And then in 20 minutes, it's we have like bread ready.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. So like you say, it's like focusing on this. This is something which is tangible. To bake bread at home is very tangible. It makes us happy. You know, you don't think because once you open even one channel or one site, you're bombarded with news from all over the world. It just
That's true.
and everybody's
It,
competing on the attention, so they get more radical. So,
yes, absolutely. It's kind of crazy over here. You have to turn the TV off
yeah, yes,
just to get
those,
quiet.
yes, yes, the tension is increasing all over the world regarding what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. But what will happen, and we don't need to, I mean, to worry about that.
I
I
agree.
Yes, yes. I just since there's a Bereshit and the word Bereshit is with bet and there's a dot in the bet. Now I don't have the dot because, but you can imagine this is what makes the bet sounds like B in English. There's a dot in the belly of the bet. The dot in the belly of the bet, yes, is like the sages say it's a dot or can be perceived as the letter Yod. Yod. Yes, the value of Yod is 10. Without the zero is 1. So the 1, the dot, the Yod is always in the 2, always in duality. So whether we experience cold or warmth, those things they tend to change. Yes, or night or day. Yes, those things that are moving. The 1 is always there. Do we understand this parable? Rodrigo, Felipe, Gil?
Yes, I
Yes.
understand.
It's like being. It's always there regardless of seasons. Yes? Regardless of how do we feel at the moment, stress or relaxed, summer or winter, cold or warm, bitter or sweet, being is always there. It's unaffected. Yes? It's like I would say consciousness, yes, without coloration, without feeling, it's always there, it's always present. Yes, and whenever we feel something that we are stressed or we are bothered by thoughts, just, we are not our thoughts. Again, we, the being, we are not our thoughts. Is that understood? We are not our thoughts. we tend, yes, to think that we are, or what defines us is our thoughts. There is a thinking which is happening mechanically to each and every one of us. But this is not who we are. It's like some kind of a firewall or a spider web, yes, which is happening or originated, yes, mechanically. But this is not who we are. Therefore, there is no reason to worry or to be anxious about something. Yes, the mechanical is not who we are. Good morning, good afternoon, Abigail. It's afternoon, yes. Questions, Rodrigo Felipe, Jill? We are not our thoughts. What is happening is we tend, yes, since there's like early childhood, there is, well, this is how it works. Yes, there's ability to think, and we tend to capture the ability to think or associate the ability to think to our own merit, or the ability to think in our eyes creates a thinker. So in a way, in our heads, in our brains, we are the thinkers of the thoughts. Yes, or like we are the owners of the thoughts. But this is not so. There is a thinking. There is a thinking. Thoughts are appearing, but there is no thinker. Because if there was a thinker, it would be a private individual, separated individual, and this is not the case. It cannot be, from divinity perspective, that there is a thinker or private doer. Do we understand this? Good, good. So there is no private doer, there is no private thinker. There isn't. There's just, in a way, verbing. There is thinking, which is happening. There is listening. Yes, there is seeing. But there is no private individual or separated individual that is the seer, is the listener. It's not like that at all. And since there is no listener or seer or doer or separated individual, yes, there is no separation. There is no thinker and a thought, which makes a distance. Yes, Felipe.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Sorry. Can you hear?
Yes, yes, we can.
Sorry. It makes me think. There is this new science paradigm about not being possible to separate as the former century. The science was like, I am the observator, I am the seer, and there is this object outside of me, and I see this and I analyze it, and I take conclusions, and I know the reality about it. And nowadays, I guess there is many advances in science and perspectives, and we all heard about this quantum science and so quantum physics and the fact that we cannot be separated as an observator and as the object. So when you were saying about there is no thinker, there is no doer, I guess it's kind of it's being let's say the science, even science is being aware of this unity of the being. And since there is no, you cannot perceive the doer, and you cannot perceive the thing affected in a separated mode. So I guess this has to do with what you were thinking. I just wanted to share it. It popped
Yeah.
up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. New science shows or demonstrates this. There is no seer or viewer because we cannot separate the two. Yes, the linear way of thinking shows that there is an object and the subject. There's a man, and the man sees the tree, and there's a distance between them. Yes, this is how Bereshit, starts telling us. Bereshit bara Elohim, God created the heaven and the earth. So there is already two. Yes, heaven and earth. But this is to the eye of the beholder. Yes, 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 that's correct. Yes. To our eye, yes, there are two. Yes, but to the eye that is capable of seeing only direct light. Yes, but it isn't so. Good morning, Cindy. The fact that the eye or the glance is focused at one dot or one point, there is like a linear connection, and all the attention, yes, goes. Yes, like you, let's say, you draw a flower on a white page, so the focus and the attention goes to this flower, but there's immense space around the flower. So the flower, even the sketch of a flower, does not exist by itself. It's not a separated sketch, it's part of the space. Yes, the eyes are giving us the information. There's only, let's say, a sketch of a flower. But the flower is what's surrounded with space. Not just on a page, also we look at the sea, or we shall see people walking on a promenade, so that the tendency is to say that 2, 3, 4 walking on a promenade and there's a tree and so. But where the tree, the sea, the people, the promenade appear? Yes, in the space. Where human life appear? In space. Yes, 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 yes. Isaiah 43. Let's see if I think that this is it. I'll try to bring it. One second. Isaiah 43:7. 1 second. Let's open it. Yes, yes, yes. That's correct. I don't have at the moment the English, but I see the Hebrew. Yes. I can put here the Hebrew because I didn't open a dual language. Yes, yes, it is. Yes. So a lot of anxiety comes from the fact that the brain, as a machine, broadcasts to us that we are separated entities. Yes, and it creates a lot of anxiety because I need to perform as a separated entity. I need to show my abilities, capabilities, my achievements, my plans, my goals, like if our life is dependent on the goals, so to speak, in brackets, that we're achieving. And it brings to the life of the one a lot of anxiety, because it's also not true. It's not the case. It is just not the case. We are not separated entities. Thank you. We are not different. I mean, the tree that has a fruit in its season is not different or is not separated from us. The human eye will give us the information that there is a man and there is a tree. Those are two different things, like two dots. Between them there's one line. But we are not that different from the tree. And there's a beautiful verse, because the man is the tree of the field. Ki ha'adam etz hasadeh. Because the man or human is the tree of the field. Here. From this comes a lot of respect to the trees, to nature. It is very common that people tend to think that they, let's say, they have animals or they relate to animals that as having them, because in a way man is higher than animal, and so. But the space which is hosting the animal and the man and the tree is the same space. The eye, the human eye, yes, tells us that this is a tree, this is a form, yes, the appearance of a tree, and this is the appearance of an animal, and this is the appearance or a form of a man. Therefore, since they have different forms, they differ from each other. Yes, and the human brain comes and sorts those things into divisions and subdivisions and branches, but this is not so. Questions or sharing that you would like to share? Cindy, Felipe, Jill, Rodrigo, Abigail. Every moment we are being born. Every moment we are being born. We are not historical figures. yes, the albums or events from the past or document will try to portray us a story, yes, about ourselves. And in a way, in the thinking, or yes, while thinking is happening, it will bring or pull the thoughts and tells us stories about ourselves. But this is not so, because the process of thinking will always claim to each and every one of us that there is a separate entity that was born in such or appeared in such and such date, in such and such year, to such and such family, therefore this is the private story. Yes, but all of this is only a narration. Yes, it's very, very narrow stories combined, put together, yes, few facts, and this is a story. And this story is so strong in a child or in a toddler that he will grow with this story and he will believe that this is the absolute story. Some people even will move to the next life believing that this is the real thing. But this is not. Yes, this is not. Because all of us, let's say, are inhaling, exhaling, the trees are moving. There is no, in a way, a certain or particular behavior or attitude from the creation towards one human being or another. Do we understand that? People tend to think, or we were educated, that if you will behave in that way or that way, you will be rewarded or you shall be punished. And if you will not do as Granny or someone said, you will not have a good life. All kinds of conditions that people during the generation accumulated. And this was the framework on which we were growing up, or we were brought up, yes, into. But it doesn't work. This is not what life is about. Many of the beliefs or the sayings that we received, yes, from people around us in our childhood or maybe later in life, most of the stories, yes, or the informations, yes, are basically a translation or interpretation or caption of a moment in time. And we tend to accumulate, yes, those story, those sayings, those telling, and to put it on our back, yes, or in our heads or in the attic. And we tend to process those stories, to produce them into a movie inside of the head. A movie which will feature us as whoever. But this is a production of the selfing. It does not really exist. Do we understand this point? Life is very simple. There is a beautiful lore about life, how life is being perceived. This is through a story. I think that yes, thank you. This is a lore, and I think that I have shared it a few times. Once there was a merchant, a businessman, yeah? His business was with diamonds. So he used to move from city to city, to used to dwell in hotels and so for his business. One day he came to hotel and he asked for a room. So at the reception they gave him a key and told him, here there's elevator, second floor on the right, this is your room. And into the elevator came with him an elevator boy. Yes, they drove together in the elevator. Yes, they moved out. He entered the door. He entered, he was approaching to the right room, opening the door, while the elevator boy asked for a fee for holding his suitcase. And so said the businessman to the elevator boy, dear friend, I did not have any suitcase or any luggage. I have here only diamonds which I carry with me, so I cannot pay you for a service that you didn't do. This is the parable, yes? But what is, so to speak, the reflection in our lives? The businessman, in a way, is, we could say this is us, and the diamond is the soul. The elevator boy that demands a fee for carrying a luggage that never was is the selfie, is the story that we tell ourselves, like this is what is happening. Do we understand? Because in the story or in the parable, there's a businessman and there's like elevator boy, like two different, in a way, entities. And there's diamonds and there's a suitcase, heavy suitcase. So there are different elements in the parable. But basically all is happening in one man's life or human's life. Is the parable understood? If not, I will open it or repeat it or share it in a different way that you will understand. Rodrigo, after Tobias, do you understand this parable? Okay, so we shall try again. We shall try again. Yes, Ellen, we're very happy to see you here on YouTube. Ellen, good morning. So let's try again. Let's try again. This is a parable. Yes, I think it's from a Magid. It's from the Magid. Cindy, Boker Tov, Boker Tov. This is a Magid, I think, from a Magid, Mimezerich, one of the Magid, the sages, yes? So here goes the parable. Let's start from the beginning. It took me a few years to just... I don't ask from you to understand. It took me a few years to understand it. Several years. I read it until one day it clicked. But let's hear it, and when it will click, in its free time, it will click. Let's try and tell it again. There was a businessman. So far, this is understood. His business is or was with diamonds. So far, so good. We understand this fact. Good. And through his journeys, yes, he used to move from town to town or from city to city and have his business done. Yes, he is to move in the world, yes, to create relations and ta-ta-ta-ta. One day, he appears in a city and he has to spend the night in the city. So he looks for a hotel. He enters to the hotel, yes, and there is a receptionist, yes, in the entry, and he asks for a room, to rent a room for the night. So the man, the receptionist, gives him the key and says, go straight to the elevator and your room is at the second floor, yes, on the right. So far, so good. It is simple. Man comes to a hotel, yes, and asks for a room. This is quite simple. The receptionist says, okay, dear man, have your key. This is go to the elevator. Yes, second floor on the right. So far, so good. The man, the businessman, started walking to the elevator. With him, while walking, comes an elevator boy, and both of them are marching or walking into the elevator. The elevator boy click on number 2. Yes, there are numbers. Yes, in the elevator, this space, there are numbers. That clicks 2. And both of them are rising to floor number 2. The door is open in floor number 2. Yes, and both of them are walking, and there's a door on the right. The businessman takes the key, opens the door, and enters his room, while the elevator boy is standing at the door, opening his hand and say, Monsieur, Mister, I was carrying your heavy suitcase, and I need a fee for carrying your suitcase. And so says the businessman to the elevator boy, Dear elevator boy, I did not have with me a suitcase. Not that it is heavy. I am carrying with me precious diamond. Yes, that I carry here in my jacket inside. My dearest diamond or the dearest diamond are here in my inner pocket jacket. So I did not ask, yes, for a service. I did not have any suitcase, nor that it was heavy. I did not need any service to carry my heavy suitcase. Therefore, dear man, you will not get your fee. Do we understand it? Can you repeat the story? This is listening. Can you open your mic and repeat the story even until the moment you stop in listening or understanding? Just repeat what you have heard or what you understood. Still processing. Felipe, Cindy, Rodrigo, Jill, can you say the story in your own words? Yes. Yes, Felipe.
It's amazing, a beautiful parable, Eti, and I guess it's something that the elevator boy yearns for something, like even a chocolate bar would make him happy. And he thinks he carried, all the weight of life, but actually the soul didn't need him to exist and to be fulfilled. But we have this self importance that keep us in this illusion and keep us in this kind of mediocrity, in this lower state of being, let's say, because we are just we don't want actually the diamonds. We don't want to participate in the businessman business. Mm-hmm. We just want some fee,
Yes.
He didn't ask, so let share with me those diamonds or something. It's, I mean, I'm sure there are many levels and many layers to catch, but the simple way I just was feeling this story is about it.
That's great, Felipe. That's great. It took me a couple of years
No,
until
you just but you digest for us it. You know,
yes, the
you
elevator
helped
boy.
us.
Thank you. The elevator boy. He was looking like the selfing. Yes, the doer, looking for a compensation. I worked. I deserve a fee. Like even Felipe, you offered a chocolate bar or something for my doing. Yes, there is a relation of a fee. There is a gap that we need to bridge. He's tired, he's exhausted, he needs to rest, or he needs to get a fee or some kind of a compensation. Yes, this is the selfing of the doer. Always try to compensate. But, and this elevator boy is hiding from us the truth that there is the main thing is the diamond or the soul. The diamond is the center here. The soul is the center. And we are as presence. In a way, the soul is close to our heart. It's inside. We don't need somebody to carry the soul. It's opposite. The soul is carrying us. It's opposite. We always think that I worked a lot and I deserve a fee and I deserve to rest and I deserve a compensation. Like if somebody owes something to us, yes, if the world or the universe, but this kind of thinking is a fruit of the selfing. Yes, that I deserve, or somebody needs to give me something. This is all those things are just false creation of the selfing. While the real thing is there is no need to compensate. Yes, there is no need to carry. Nobody's tired. The soul never tired, is never tired. The soul is never exhausted. Never. Is not something perishable. Is not something that you make exchange for. This is what it is. It's the space, yes, around us. Yes. Yes. So this is a very, very beautiful parable. Yes. How the selfing or the selfing in us says, I've worked, let's say, 8 hours. Now I need to rest 6 and I need to see 6 movies. I need to eat 10 ice creams to compensate. I need to have 10 vacations. I need to own 10 airplanes to compensate. This is what the selfing does. Will invent more and more things which are not real. Yes, to keep us far. Yes, from the fact that everything is already here. Yes, this is the diamond. The soul is the diamond. Or the word, or the logos. The quality of the soul is shining all the time, fresh and new, never exhausted. There is no exhaustion in the realm of the soul. There isn't. And it doesn't weigh anything, meaning it's not heavy. It doesn't listen to the law of gravity. Why do we get tired? If somebody, yes, let's say, if there was not an elevator boy, let's say it's an old hotel, yes, ancient hotel in France without elevators. Let's say he had to climb 6 floors. Yes, if the elevator boy, yes, had to climb 6 floors on foot, yes, the body, human body, is encapsulated in the field of gravity. He will be tired and he will ask for compensation. The body. But the soul never gets tired. Yes, like David, those like a horse. Yes. 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 Yes, Cindy, you read? Yes. About how an idea is like this. Yes. Yes, yes. Once that we think that we have the idea, we are in prison. In prison, we are imprisonment. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So the soul is never exhausted. The law of gravity does not, how do you say, abide to the soul. How can it be? The law of gravity in the doer will demand a fee, a compensation, chocolate bar, vacation in Rome. Yes, but the soul doesn't need anything. It's it. Does not need to arrive to compensate. Yes, this is it. And this is the story about, yes, about the, how shall I call it? A mashal. This is a mashal. I think Proverbs is a mashal shel Hamagid. I think Midovna. Dovna is a city in East Europe. I think it's his Hamashal shel Hamagid Midovna, the parable of the Magid of Dovna. About the businessman, the diamonds, and the elevator boy. Also, there is moments in the day that we feel bitter. It happens. Bitterness arises. It doesn't mean that when bitterness arises, this is who we are. This is just bitterness. It rises and it will disappear as well. It's like this elevator boy that demands a fee for something that he has not done. But we should not be impressed from this theater play that the thinking brain is offering us every moment. There's nothing to be impressed. Okay, another video. Some people, they go to Netflix and they see a movie. Some people just listened or amused with their own video that the brain is making. This is not real and this is not real. This is not who we are. It is quite simple. Because what happens if people are believing to this storytelling that the brain invents all the time and they hold onto it, they so invested in it and they put sentiments and emotion, they store sometimes negative emotions and they might become sick because they invested in something which is not real. Yes, there's nothing to invest in this chaotic video room or let's say video center hall. Yes, it's not real. So drop it, it's not real. Yes, of course, yes. Yes, they will also invite others to listen to the bullshit stories and convince them that this is the true thing that happened to them. And since 2 decades, they cannot speak to this neighbor because he cut the grass 2 centimeters next to the fence, and this is a case while they will never be friends. So, yes, something like that. But none of this is true. None of this is true, and if we are susceptible to those stories, videos, movies, it's quite sad. We're losing like precious moment, yes, in life. Just drop it. It's not real. Move on. You know. We bake a cake. We bake a bread. Fold the laundry. Something useful. Yes, not to occupy this machine. The machine will always feed. Excuse me. I don't want to use, let's use good English. The machine will always produce stories, but in different colorations. But we should never buy into them because they're not true. This is what the machine does. Spider web on every ceiling. This is the mechanics, but this is not who we are. And the spider web that the machine makes is always what? To hide from us the truth. Yes, this is like the elevator boy. I walked with you, yes, to the elevator. I was with you in the elevator. I clicked number 2 in the elevator. The door opened and we both, yes, went out from the elevator. And I walked in the corridor with you until the door, second door from the right. But you're carrying nothing. Nobody asked you to do anything. You see, this is the thinking brain. This is the mechanism. This is the spider web. But it's not true. Yes, yes. And the next excuse is I kept you company. Yes, this is the this is the only thing that he was babysitting him. Yes, yes. Cool. So this is so simple. Don't believe those spider web that the brain produces. This is his work. This is a machine. The machine is basically made, it is mechanical. So it works without our consent. But this is mechanical. I just open the key. When we put the key in the door, just swing it and the door is open. Most of our daily happenings are mechanics. So we need this. The body needs this because this is how the world is working. Also, when a cat hears like a sound, be cautious. So it's most of it is mechanics. So let's don't get excited about it. This is how it works. We agree and then we drop it. We're not invested in it. Yes, Cindy, the first lessons in Course of Miracles. Okay. Speak on this. Nothing I see means anything. My thoughts, yes. That's correct. Have you think about this? Let's go with this sentence another, let's say, to the next level. It's beautiful that you quote this one. It says, nothing I see means anything. My thoughts about XYZ don't mean anything. Have you thought about someone, let's say, that was living, let's say 10 years ago? He was also having thoughts about A, B, C, D. What happens when those people are passing away? Where all those thoughts are moving, if they move even. All the thoughts, all the grudges, where all of those, those things are disappearing. Even our thoughts, not even people who passed away 10 years ago, even our thought from 1 hour ago. Can you browse? Can anyone, yes, browse in his thoughts 1 hour ago and locate or fish the right thought that he had, let's say, 45 or 75 minutes ago? Of course not. It vanished. Does not exist. Or a sentiment that he had 105 minutes ago or 7 hours ago does not exist. Where is it? Where shall I find it? Where to look for? In which room? In which attic? Where shall I find it? Does not exist. Does not exist. It's not a real place. It is not. Good morning, Fernando. We were speaking about the proverb of Magid Midovna, the Magid Midovna. So,
Eti,
yes, Felipe?
just something I would like to say. I was reading the Hebrew roots
Mm-hmm.
the other day, and something interesting about this topic. You were mentioning in the conversation about Adam and Eve, and how Adam's kind of Eve would be the experience that send these sensorial impulses, let's say, to the mind, which is Adam. And I mean, the interesting thing also was that it was mentioned that what we can do is to, let's say, work on the emotional responses of what we experience. I mean, it's an inner doership. Is that correct? It is what I was thinking. I don't know if you understood me.
To work on the sentiments that we have, or on the
Yes.
senses. There's nothing to work on. Can you give an example from, let's say, daily life?
Yes, like when we experience just some kind of irritation, let's say, if we assume that it is not real, it is something that will pass, and let's say an hour from now, I will not be able even to locate this. Why did I get angry? Why did I get mad? But in the very moment I am experience this sentiment, this emotion.
Yes, and this is the word experience is tricky. Anger.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can continue, Slicha. Sorry.
No. It's because just assuming that we are not the doers of or the cause of anything.
No, we're not. No, you're right. Let's say anger rises. It's not that I experience anger or I am angry. Anger rises, anger disappears. Happiness rises, happiness disappears. It's not our happiness. It's not our sadness. Inside there's only emptiness. We're not the owners of the feelings or the experience. Yes? Anger rises, anger disappears. Happiness rises, happiness disappears, like clouds in the sky. Sometimes clouds are appearing. After a couple of hours, they're disappearing. They appear in the space, yes? but they are not the sky. They appear in a way in the space. During the days, during the years, the weeks, many appearances are rising in us. Appearances, even sentiments. But this is not who we are. What we are is emptiness. It's just what appears. Yes, it's for a moment, even few moments. So what people try to do, if let's say anger rises, so people tend to think, oh, I am angry. This is a mistake, yes, but most of us are doing it. I am angry. Oh, but I should not be angry. It's no good. It's not a good measure, yes, to be angry. So I have to decay the anger. I have to smash the anger. If you try to smash the anger, you know, it will only rise and it will multiple. So we are not angry. Let's say anger rises like a fire in a thorn field in the summer. This is what happens. Those are the conditions. It's summer, it's dry, it's very hot. The thorns are the only things that are remaining from those beautiful fields in the spring. And since it's very hot and it touches the, how do you say, the ray of the sun touches one of the thorns, just catch it and all the field goes with fire. Yes, this is how anger works. It just appears because there are conditions, but we are not the owners of the anger, or we are not angry. Anger rises, anger disappears. We are not the source of the anger. Anger is like a season, appears and disappears. Happiness appears and disappears. Bitterness appears and disappears. Discontent appears and disappears. You see? This is not who we are. Those things are just different elements on stage. Yes, what you resist persists, yes. Yes. So there's nothing to work, you know, Felipe, if or when anger rises. So it's anger is rising, it will appear, it will play, but not to associate this appearance of anger or discomfort with who we are. This is just appearance. Like postman at the door, it just comes to deliver an envelope. He will not stay there forever. Yes, this is just a moment, but the fact is that we think that this is our anger. This is not our anger at all. Yes. Yes, it's a guest. Yes, it's just a guest or a visitor. It's not who we are. It's not permanent. And don't get excited. I mean, because we are educated. Oh, no, not good to be angry. What is the source or what is the root of anger from the element? Which element of all? There are 4 elements, let's say, except of air. I mean, emptiness. Which fire? Yes. So the same fire, yes, that nourishes, yes, the anger, the same fire, the same potency fire, what does? The same fire causes the seed, which is buried in the ground, to what? To pop out from the ground and to sprout out. This is the same fire. The same fire that, in a way, causes the anger or nourishes the anger, nourishes the sprout in spring. It's, you see, It is positive. It's fire. So whether the expression of anger goes through A, B, C, D, nobody judges them, just fire that moves. But we are not capable of seeing like 10 million people that rage is moving through them. Because everyone of us is living in different apartment, different lives, and so. Yes. Yes. You're moving now to abuse, I see, Abigail. If certain people causes certain, let's say, appearance of anger in you, don't be next to them. This is quite simple. If it's not something of an instant, like, let's say somebody's standing in a rainy day, a bus is coming, driving very fast into the, let's say, muddy waters in the street, and we get wet. So people might be angry for a moment. Hey, I got wet. I just left the house to go to work. Now I'm wet. I have to go to change. So people might be angry for a moment because it happened on the moment. But if this is, Abigail, what you describe is something which is not for a moment, but constant from the same source. So not need to be next to such a source. Yes, Cindy? Is war always built on anger? Is there a time when war is not built? Yes. War is an expression of a new order. Yes? War is expression of a new order. This is what war is. Whether we like it or not, this is something else. Yes, but it's an expression of a new order. Usually war comes, yes, when the life in the manifested reached a border of development. Then comes a war. This is a stopper. Do we understand the definition? Because war has all kinds of definitions. Depends whom do you ask, like generals in the army or historians. Usually, also what Weinreb is sharing with us in his book, yes, lechem, bread, yes, bread, lechem is associated with the seventh day, yes, you remember that? Yes, lechem, bread is associated with the seventh day, you remember that? And a world which is coming to an end. Lechem is bread, like Bethlehem. The same letters, yes, create the word milchama, which is war. Do we understand that or not yet? So, in a way, war is the stopper. That this is a mark, as, how do you say, apostille? How do you say, a seal of truth, that development has reached its end. This is what it is. It has nothing to do with emotions. This is a mechanism that installed in the creation. Men do not create wars. They are incapable of doing anything, barely nothing. War is part of what? Of what? Of the code. War is part of the code. Yes, there are 6 days of creation. Yes. And there's a 7th day. And 6 days of creation is the development in time. And then comes the 7th day, the resting day. But also, in this case, a war that seals the development in time. Just give you an example. When someone goes to sleep and he wakes up in the morning, when he looks at the mirror, when he washes his face or shower or whatever, he doesn't see that his hand or his arm grew 600 times fold. Is it right or wrong? When someone, each and every one of us, go to sleep at night and he wakes up in the morning, yes? He doesn't see suddenly that his arm grew 600 times more. True or false? He just wakes up more or less in the same feature. Maybe more folded from the bed sheets or whatever. Yes? But his arm does not grow 600 times, his feet 800 times. How he will enter his house? Yes? Where will he put his feet if it will grow 800 times? Where? This is, so to speak, physiognomically, biologically. But here is the attention. The body, in a way, is staying as it is because we are not creators of the bodies. But look what happens to the man's brain or mind. When man has drowning or believing his thoughts, he believes, yes, that he can make money, yes, or make profit of 100,000 times more than he has. Let's say a person has X, let's say sum of money, but the man's mind lures him, the serpent inside, tell him that he can grow his, let's say, fund in the bank in 100, let's say, let's take this number, yes, 100,000. His fortune can grow in this sum in 10 days. He believes that this is possible and he will do it. And he will believe to this profit. So his mind can play tricks on him. And he will continue to make more and more, profits, like slot machine, yes? Like more and more and more. In his mind. But if we look at nature, this is how money makers' mind is working. But in nature, did you see a tree that from the night to the next morning grows, or 1 week, yes, in 1 week grows 100,000 times more? Have you seen this in nature? The tree grows in 1 week? No. Have you seen a bird? Yes, that in 1 week grows 1,000, or not even 100,000, just 1,000 more? A flower? It doesn't happen in nature. Not a cat, not a frog, not a bee. It doesn't happen. Each one has its own spot and its right action. Nobody is moving left or right. Only in man's mind, this is so disturbing. Yes, yes, true, Fernando. Only in man's mind, yes, people can launch rockets to Mars. People make private trips to the moon, tomorrow to Venus, because they believe that they are gods, they are owning the world. People are invested of buying apartments on the moon, in which floor, under the moon, above the moon. So it is so out of control. How do you say? The fermented brain of people is so out of control that already in the creation there is a printed mechanism, a stopper that will stop this crazy thing. And this is the seventh day. We call it Shabbat or resting. What happens also the seventh day is what? Is defined also not just by bread, but also by war, because there's the world as we know it ceased to exist. War is not a bad thing. It is just part of the plan, of the script that's supposed to stop the fermented brain of people from what? From playing God. This is it. It is printed, and the Bible saying it, and Weinreib writes about it, and the lores and the legend. This is the only stopper that exists when people's brain are fermented, over fermented, with self-control, with playing God. Yes, this is it. Yes, therefore, you see, if it, yes, you see, but already, yes, in the creation, in the intelligence of creation, there is a stopper. Yes, it comes, the plan is already shared, yes, with us. Why do we read the Weinreib book? There is a sharing, there's a sharing, we are, yes, divinity in a way is sharing with us its program. Yes, this is what happens. This is what happens. And by the way, last week I read in Thomas Mann's, because I like to read Wikipedia in few languages, not just few pages, to have few takes about things, because each language or people have sometimes different sources. So I read a Wikipedia page about Thomas Mann in German. And there I found even more accurate source. He started writing, this is quite interesting, Joseph and his brothers, please pay attention, you can see the parallel. He started writing the book in 1926. He started, in the German page you will see this, the start was in 1926, and he wrote the book in the course of the next 17 years, like the life of Joseph. He took him, if you connect, yes, those two numbers, you will arrive to an interesting year. Yes? And Thomas Mann wrote this book while feeling what is going to happen in Europe. It's not for nothing that we are reading now this book together. He he just went into this writing, and the course of writing for him, the 17 year, was a tunnel that protected him. He dwell in this tunnel of writing in the story for the next 17 years. So in the creation, there is a stopper, a divine stopper that will stop this crazy development. This is it. And we are in it now. So I would like to thank, yes. What is written, Felipe. We don't have an opinions about. We spoke about not having opinions about anything. Just live the moment, inhale, exhale. What do we know? We're just sharing this wisdom, ancient wisdom, that is given for us. Opinions we don't have. We can always hope for the best. But this is the situation at the moment. Should not be worried about this. Yes, but this is what is happening at the moment. Now, I would like to thank each and every one of you for participating in this beautiful session and sharing your thoughts, experience, your reading with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and shalom, shalom. We can meet here on Saturday at the same time. If you have the time, you can join us. Yes, it is Shabbat, Saturday, 16 hours, 4 p.m. Israel time, your local time. Thank you so much, and shalom, shalom. See you soon.